Hey everybody, this is Carlos with the Nerder Day podcast. Took a little break last week, or in between now. Coming back at you, and we got something we want to talk about. Let me talk to you for a little bit. As one of my new favorite wrestlers in NXT, L.A. Knight, would say. So we got breaking news. I guess not breaking news. We got more scuttlebutt. I guess I should say scuttlebutt's a better word. Scuttlebutt is a good word. I'm gonna say scuttlebutt. There's a couple more times. Scuttlebutt. It's probably coming off really awkwardly loud on your audio device. I very apologize because I just saw I peeked in the red a little bit. Gotta play with that audio. Gotta watch some Harris Heller videos. I gotta get back on that. Gotta do some research, not just go willy-nilly in these videos. Though it makes Jeff laugh, and if I can make Jeff laugh, the world's okay. If I can make Jeff laugh. But yeah, let's talk about it. I don't know if you guys can tell from my svelte shirt that I got from a Dollar General in rural Pennsylvania. It's $5. It's Mario. We're actually talking about the news that kind of not broke. It's not like official yet, but more, as I mentioned, the word of the day. Cue Pee Wee Herman screaming. I'm not good with editing, but if I was, this is where I would enter that and like Cherry, like freaking out. If you're young, well, if you're older, you know who Pee Wee Herman is, and then you know who Cherry is. It's a chair that he sits on that can talk. Besides, we're talking about the new Switch rumors that are coming out. I'm gonna be reading sections of Luke Plunkett's report on Kotaku, because you can only click on Bloomberg so many times before they lock you out and be like, yo, you gotta pay us. And I like Jason Schreier's writing, but I ain't gonna pay for a Bloomberg. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. I mean, Luke does a really good job. You should follow him. And Kotaku, like, he does a good job of breaking down the points. But we're just gonna jump in this real quick. Headline says right here, report. I'm gonna be reading from the screens right here. I'm reading from here. If you're audio, I'm pointing to my right, which is, if you're watching, left, screen's right here. Alright, whatever. Report, new Nintendo Switch with 4K output, OLED screen, will release before Christmas. And it goes on to, like Luke goes on to report, last year Bloomberg reported that a new model of the Nintendo Switch would be out sometime in 2021. They're reporting some more specific details today, like the size of the screen and some 4K news. So basically this news report is from March 3rd, 8 p.m. And this kind of broke, again, the previous year in 2020, about it coming in 2021. But now the news is kind of ramping up. And it's kind of going on the tail of, we haven't seen anything for Breath of the Wild 2, Pokemon Legend, I believe it's called Pokemon Legends Arceus. Arceus? It's like the Breath of the Wild, I guess, version of Pokemon that just got shown off, and a lot of people would say they look a little rough around the edges. Like, the textures didn't look great, and they wondered if there is any credence to this. Like, you know, if you see smoke, there's fire about a new Switch. Nintendo has consistently denied it in the past year and a half. Hardware, which I love, is getting a little long in the tooth. I'm sure like a refresh or upgraded model would help it have more longevity in the marketplace, especially with, you know, the PS5 and the Series X/S just coming out for Xbox. I'm sorry, for PlayStation and Xbox, respectively. So the interesting thing here would be the reports that we're getting here is when it's going to have more computing power. So it'll be able to run games a little, like, I guess, older Switch games faster. I wonder if there will be any disparity, a la a lot of Xbox games being able to play on the Xbox One, you know, 1S, 1X, but they play better, and they, you know, a lot. Microsoft wants you to buy the Series X, Series S, because it runs better, textures pop in better, 4K, 2K, you know the deal, 60 frames per second. I wonder if that's what we're going to see here, not necessarily games that are specifically only on this new Switch model with updated computing power, but maybe something that is... we want you to buy the new model because, look, it runs better, 60 frames per second, 4K on your TV, 4K Zelda, that sounds amazing. But besides that point, I wonder if that's what they're going to do. Like, you're not going to be penalized for not owning that system, but you're going to be incentivized to play that new system, right? Because it's going to look better, run better, load quicker, things like that. So the original report is a little light on details, as Luke mentions here. I'll link Luke's breakdown of the article in the show notes below. But so it says it's looking to have more computing power and 4K high definition graphics. Now, to be more clarified, as Luke mentions here, the new model will feature OLED screen made by Samsung, which will be 7 inches across. So diagonally, that's where it's going to be. It's going to be 7 inches across. Current Switch models are, for the standard Switch, 6.2 across diagonally, and for the light model, 5.5 inches. Both beautiful. They are both 720p, but I believe they're LCD screens, which was initially not favorable when released, because if you owned a Vita, like first generation Vita, that was OLED. So that's what we're getting here. We're getting like a new OLED screen that is 7 inches diagonally, so a bigger screen. And at first I was initially upset with the news that it was going to be, the rumors is it's going to be 720p, until I read, and it's a good tweet, I read it today while watching Kind of Funny Games Daily. You have to check it out. It was a good show, good, back and forth between Greg and Paris Lilly, who are both amazing people. But if you watch that, Barrett, a member of the Kind of Funny cast, and he's like a producer on the shows and stuff, he posted a tweet, pardon me, from Jeff Grubb from GamesBeat, and it mentioned like what the human eye can see from that distance and with the rumored OLED. So it being 720 is not necessarily a bad thing. It will look better. The post and like the art, like the kind of like information of the screen model and things like that, they mentioned it would be closest to a high retina screen, which if you're coming from like Apple devices, a lot of them have been high retina screens. They're recently with the, if I'm correct, the 10 Max maybe, or like 11 Pro and 12 Pro have been OLEDs. So if you're coming from that kind of family of devices, the super high fresh, I don't know if it's going to be refresh rate. I won't say that. That's speaking out of turn. But the high retina display is kind of when you get an idea. And for me, I will say, someone who loves resolution and stuff like that, the iPhone 11, which I'm currently recording on as my camera device, thank you Elgato, and the Epoch Cam app, which I pay $8. It's awesome. It's really good, as you could tell. Pardon me. As a day-to-day user who watches a lot of YouTube, Netflix, Paramount Plus, what's up? That just came out today. Things of that nature. Everything's pretty crisp, pretty clear. And I don't have any issues watching stuff. Obviously, I know out there, mentally, it could look better. But I am working on an LCD screen. So if it was OLED, that would have to look awesome. Now, that is what we're talking about undocked. Now, docked, apparently that's where we're going to get the 4K resolution onto your TV. Which, yeah, they kind of mentioned here. Luke has a good point in this article. He mentions that's going to make for one hell of a resolution change when switching between docked and handheld mode. But I wonder, there's so many people using games media that use their Switch not even docked. They use it specifically only as a handheld. So it's very interesting. Where I think the most handheld use my Switch gets is between my son. Actually, every once in a while when I was playing games and my niece, who happens to live with me, she wanted to play Animal Crossing. So I was playing Doom, I was playing Animal Crossing. That's how she would play. But my son, literally he played a decent amount of Sonic Mania today. And before you applaud, he's trash at the game. He's 3. That makes sense. I was 3 and trash at Sonic 2 at one point. Wow, that's weird to say out loud. And I really dated myself. Good thing I have these lights. Oh my goodness, can you see the gray hair? that's besides the point. Anyway, yeah, so it's can you imagine just seeing something that's like 720, very beautiful, very crisp, like Breath of the Wild 2, you know, Pokemon Arceus. We're like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna put it on the TV, and then boom, 4K Pokemon, boom, Zelda in 4K, or you know, whatever, Odyssey 2 or whatever that may be. It's gonna be interesting to see, and I wonder how much you'll be able to switch. You know, are you able to port a lot of games? Is it gonna look so weird? Is resolution gonna be, you know, 60 frames per second, which a lot of people are more championing than a 4K resolution? I happen to have a 4K TV. But it's a lower, I want to say lower end mono. It has HDR10. It's a lower end mono. It's an Insignia. I did cheap out. It's a Insignia Fire TV, 4K TV, which I own. I mentioned TV multiple times, obviously, because I'm just stuttering at this point. But it'd be interesting to see the disparity in like what would Odyssey 1. You know, I'm not saying there's an Odyssey 2 coming out, but you know, if there is a sequel to Odyssey or the next 3D Mario game, what does that look like, you know, compared to the previous entry, or like Bowser's Fury, you know, that just came out? What would that look like on, does that get up-resed, or does it like, hey, let's smooth, same resolution, 60 frames a second. What does a 60 frame per second Zelda play like? It's going to be interesting. But that's going to be it really for today. Displays are slated to start shipment to assemblers around July, meaning the new model will be ready in time for the holidays, reportedly, from Bloomberg. So, I mean, then that lets credence, like, there has to be some kind of, if we're getting a hardware refresh, there also has to be some kind of wow factor game, right? No offense to Microsoft, but we didn't have a wow factor game, like a day one must purchase, this is why you get this is why you upgrade with Microsoft. That was supposed to be Halo Infinite. Development obviously had a lot of issues. You can watch my previous videos about that. And we're getting that in the fall, reportedly. I still say February 2022. I don't know if it's around my birthday, but it'd be cool if it was on my birthday. Just saying. So it'd be interesting to see where we are standing. What's that hardware seller? I think it's Breath of the Wild 2. We haven't heard much. The 35th anniversary just passed on my birthday, the 21st of February. So it'd be interesting to see where we go from there. But I'm gonna end the video here. Let me know down below what you guys think, or you know, tweet at me. You know, at nerd_a_day on Twitter. Let me know what you guys think about this hardware refresh and what the future of Nintendo will look like. As always, does my channel a favor if you could just like, share, subscribe. Hey, just subscribe. It helps so much. You know, we're getting closer to that 50 mark. Little by little, we're climbing ever so slightly to that 50 mark. So it'd be interesting if we can hit that mark, make our way to 100, get a custom URL. That'd be awesome. Anyway, that's this video today. Love you guys. I'll see you.